So sis says, I feel like the Bible saying a man that finds a wife is a man should be the one seeking. Are women seeking a man if they make themselves visible on a dating app? First of all, thank you for your question. I don't get this question a lot, but I do say it comes up in conversations that we have often, especially my husband and I, as we're talking about dating apps and dating as a Christian and courting and all the things, right? So here's how I say this. I want to start off by saying that I often find that we do a disservice for Christian single women if we say wait. If we say you got to wait on him, you got to make sure he sees you. You got to. And we don't offer tools or wisdom on how to wait in this season. I believe that's what kept me stuck in my season when I was single, is because yes, as much as I wanted and waited for marriage, I never got practical advice. As someone who grew up in the church, as someone who was always in ministries, was serving, was doing my thing, how do I get dating right? I got this. Me and Jesus, we good. we good. How do I do this dating thing? And I think that's why I'm here. That's why my husband's here. And that's why I love having conversations like this. So thank you so much. So this is what I'm going to say to help, is that I'm going to use my story as a tool. I never want to put a woman in a situation to where it's an absolute statement, because that's a lot of what's going on right now. Like, it's absolutes. You have to, you got to. And I did things differently when I dated, and I have my husband. So this may or may not work for you, but I'm gonna use for me. For me, when I started dating apps, I didn't know what I was doing. All right. I had no clue of what I was doing. I was just clicking and scrolling and moving and, all the things, right? I didn't know what I was doing. And I got to a point to where I started doing dating on dating apps at my worst. So when I was lonely, let me scroll. When I wanted a companion, let me scroll. When I saw my friends going out on dates and bringing them to weddings, let me scroll. When it was that time in the month and I'm feeling myself a little bit, I don't know what I want to do in my life, I'm just emotionally in and out, let me scroll. When I just finished watching a rom-com and my feelings are kind of like, woo, I could do this dating thing because I just watched a rom-com and I'm all in my feelings and the jushy gushy, let me scroll. So I was doing dating at my worst, and I had to remember to do dating at my best. And when I say my best, at what God sees as his best for me. So that meant moderation. That meant I wasn't scrolling like I do here on TikTok. That I wasn't scrolling like I do on other sites. I actually did moderation. So I wasn't on there all day and all night and at breaks. And all, like, I made sure that I had to put a boundary on how I was doing this. I had to make sure I had accountability. As much as we don't like to hear it, a lot of us don't like to be held accountable for what we're doing. All right. I had to make sure I had sisters that kept me in line while I was dating on these dating apps. If I decided to go out, they questioned me. They talked about it. And if I did something wrong, they were like, girl, why didn't you come to us first? Like, the conviction was real. Like, are we having somebody that's holding us accountable while we're on this apps? We have people that held us accountable financially. We have people that hold us accountable when we're trying to get our weight right. We have people that hold us accountable. Like, why is dating such a, like, I don't need nobody, I can do this by myself? And dating fatigue is real. I know y'all heard about it. Dating app fatigue is real, right? There were times that I would have to take lengthy breaks. Okay. It wasn't to where, and I do that with social media, period. Like, I take breaks off social media whenever I just feel like my spirit is off and I'm not progressing like I need to. I take breaks. That's even till this day. But at the time I was like, this ain't cutting it. I feel like I'm objectifying these men. I don't have a good lens right now. I feel like it's just not right for me right now. So I'm going to go ahead and take a 2-3 month break, and I'm going to give myself back to the Lord and just let him show me what I'm supposed to be doing in this single season. There's a lot more tips I would add. Me and my husband are working on a brief sheet to give to Christian singles who are interested in dating and dating apps. So stay tuned for that, and we'll have something put together for you all. But are you seeking if you're on this app is the question also. Are you seeking as a woman if you are on this app? And I believe it goes back to your motive. It goes back onto your expectations, and it goes back onto, are you allowing God to lead the process? I never want to say that Christian single women shouldn't go on the app. I just think there are tools. It's a tool, just like anything else is a tool to help you in your dating season. There are a lot of women out there that struggle with communication, struggle with having conversations with men, struggle with, man, I ain't never talked to it. Like, I don't know what to do. And a dating app actually has been helpful for that. That's not the only thing, but it has been helpful. It helped me when I started out. It helped me actually have conversations with men I ain't never conversed with. I finally was able to understand what it felt like to be rejected. I felt like, okay, this is what it feels like to say no. This is what it feels like to say yes. This is what I can have a great conversation with. I now know how to ask questions, how to answer questions. So it did help me when I had my in-person dates as well, the ones I met in person. So here's a hypothetical. I'm just throwing this out there, not just for you, sis, but for anybody that's listening, right? Say, for instance, you go to an event and you find out when you arrive that there are a lot of eligible men that are there. You don't know if they're Christian or not, but you know there are a lot of eligible men here at this event. Now, there's one way that you can approach this that we do the same when we're on apps is, I'm getting a man tonight. I'm coming in there and I'm going to get a man tonight. It's a wrap. I'm taking one home tonight. Or, man, this would be a good time to connect with a man. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Lord, lead me to a way. Maybe if he looks at me and I look at him, I could spark up a conversation and just see if we connect. Another question. Do you go in and say, well, let me just sit down and whoever comes going to come to me because he that findeth a wife, he better find me? Or let me make eye contact with somebody. Let me smile. You know what? I wouldn't mind just when I pass by a man, I hear a conversation and there's something I hear and I'm, oh, you read that book too? Yes, I actually read that book in my book club. What you think? Yeah. Can we talk? Okay. And then y'all start talking, and is that seeking or is that just positioning? Is that just you allowing yourself to be visible? And you are just saying, you know what? God, whatever you have for me, you have for me. And it's when you leave, you like, well, whatever happens, God happens. Or it's like, dang, man, I didn't find nobody tonight. Like, that's crazy. I did all that I can do. I didn't went up. I didn't flirted. I didn't touched hands, bumped elbows, and not one man came up to me. That's whack. That event's whack. Men are just whack. So here's the thing is what I'm trying to say is it's just a tool. That event is a tool. The dating app is a tool. There's things that we do that are just tools for us to engage in, to see what happens. And if that man is interested and wants to pursue, that's one thing. If you don't do nothing after that, how you handle it says a lot about who you are in Christ. Okay. So I don't know if that helped. Hopefully that helped. I just wanted to throw questions out there to you. Like I said, I never want to make absolute statements because dating apps aren't for everybody. I will never coach a woman and say, you have to get on a dating app. There's coaches that do that. I will never do that. I would say, if it's your preference, let me walk with you in this, sis. I would say, if you want to start, let me help hold you accountable. Let's talk about it. Let's scroll through some profiles together. Let me show you what you can actually do. Me and my husband will walk with you through it. We could do that. Let me know if y'all interested in that. We wouldn't mind starting up some sessions where that can happen too. But I wanted to make sure that I came back. Let me know if I answered your question. And thank you so much for responding. I love y'all. Follow me for more dating and relationship content. Peace.